So it looks like I'm good for the recording. I really appreciate you all being able to find some time to sit in with all of us. I have sent out a video for kind of a startup guide and a job aid for a startup guide, but we felt that it was pretty important also that we could kind of meet and have Dina walk us through kind of the navigation and all of that. We are going to be moving forward with this adoption of OneCall. So this week we'll transition into the OneCall after this meeting. And there's really like no substitute for getting in there and kicking the tires yourself. So really, there isn't anything that you can really do to break any of this. And if there was, we probably would have already broken it and had some experience with that. So Dina has done quite a bit of work setting up your accounts, and so you have access to different subgroups for your school, as well as she's worked with the attendance template, and she will demonstrate today how we go about actually performing that daily task that you guys have. So, Dina, do you want to jump in there?
There I am. Hi, everyone. How are you? Excuse me, my allergies are horrible today. Okay. So the first part that we're going to take a look at is the attendance piece. And the beginning of the attendance piece, there it is. The beginning of the attendance piece actually starts off just as it did when we were using Blackboard. I'm going to use Crocker as my demonstration school today, and you all will see your own individual schools with your own individual information when we get to the next step, like Eileen had mentioned. So to run the basic attendance report, what we normally would have done before is go to attendance. And then on the daily attendance office input page, you want to make sure, and this is a good example, but you want to make sure that it is the proper date. So mine keeps defaulting to the previous day that I've tried it. So I'm just going to make sure that I'm on today's date. And then under the filters, I've just renamed, I think it said Connect Ed for absence call previously. Now it says OneCall now for absence call. It's the exact same filter. It just has a new name on it. And that's removing all the dismissals and tardies. So everyone left has an absence code of A on here, or an attendance code of A. After we've filtered out the students that we want, then we're going to go to reports, quick report, and it is a saved report. And if you scroll down, I've named everything with the start of X2 just because it puts it at the end of the list and I find it's easier to find. So this is the X2 export for OneCall now attendance. I'm going to click on that. You actually don't have to do anything else here. You can just click finish. Okay, now I'm just going to save it to my desktop. Here we go. Does anyone have any questions about that part so far?
I don't know if that screen is showing the quick report.
This one?
That was, but were you just in the quick report?
I didn't. I just saved it to the desktop. I didn't pull it up.
Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't share the pop-up screen that was actually saving the report. It just it just comes up as save, and I've saved it to my desktop. Does anyone need me to go back and show that again? Thumbs up or thumbs down would be great. No. Okay. So yes. Okay. So let me show that again. Oops. Okay. So I'm going to start fresh at the beginning. And school view, I'm on Crocker. That's the one I'm using as my example. I'm going to go to attendance, daily attendance office input, make sure that we can see the, move this over here, make sure that we can see that it's the proper date, which it is. Then we're going to go to filters. OneCall now for absence call. That removes all of the tardies and dismissals. Reports, quick report, saved report. Oh, this is the part I think that you're not seeing. Okay. Is that better? Yeah. So now you're seeing the quick report source screen. And if you scroll all the way down, X2 export for OneCall now. Click on that. And this is where you don't have to change anything else. You can just click finish. And this screen that pops up is just my save as screen. This part I can't share. So this is just going to the desktop. Was that any clearer for you? Okay. All right, so now I have my file from X2. It's saved. Yes, it is. It's basically the same as connected. The only thing I did was change the name of the filter. That's it. Everything else is the same with that. And I save it on my desktop just so I can easily find it there. Good. Okay. So now I have that saved on my desk. Yes, it is still saved as a CSV file. Yes. So it's saved as a CSV file. Don't change anything on that end. You can rename it. Some of you might want to keep the record of it. You don't have to adjust the headings. No, I renamed the headings for you. Yeah, so you don't have to do anything with that report. And I know that some of you like to keep a record of it, maybe in a folder somewhere. Just, give it a proper file name, but keep the CSV extension. Okay. So now I have that on my desktop. So now I'm going to share the OneCall now screen. And we're going to just hope that it didn't tab me out. There it is.
Dina, I think that's a good point. It does time out pretty quickly, and I'm not sure that we can modify that, but it seems like every time I go in there, I have to log back in.
It does. And it does give you a little reminder. Are you still there? And I can't remember, it counts down maybe 200 seconds or some random number like that. But it does log you out quickly. You just have to log back in. Okay, so this is my dashboard. And I'm going to see information on mine that is a bit different from yours because I have a district view and access to the district pages. You're going to see the information for your site. Okay, and we found here that the quickest way to go in and do the attendance record was with this box. Oops, this box here. I don't see my mouse pointer. Do you? There it is. Okay.
There it is.
Yeah, that took a minute to get there. Okay, so on the send alert box, we're going to come back to new in a bit, but I've saved the template for you to use for attendance. So the first thing that's going to come up is the saved alerts screen. Mara, did you have a question? I'm sorry.
No, I'm good.
So if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of this page, oh, you don't have the option to save? I mean, to go to the save templates? Okay. Eileen, did you hear that?
Yep, let me get in there and see if I have to change
Okay.
the setting.
I'll go through it once just to show you so we're not standing still. And then when the accounts get edited, then we'll go back and do it again. We don't know what you can't see yet. And so things like this might come up, but that's okay. So I'll continue here and then we'll regroup. So at the bottom of the saved alert screen, I've named all the templates with your school code and just the word attendance. Okay. The first icon here, the pencil, that actually edits the saved alert. You don't necessarily need to go there unless you want to change something that's in the template. And I just copied and pasted the same template for everyone, replacing the school contact information. So it actually does say Crocker Elementary School and the phone number, or your school and the phone number for each one. Okay. So that one, like I said, edits. This will delete the template, so you probably don't want to use that one. This one right here, the green, is actually getting ready to send the alert. So this will initiate the send process. These numbers are codes. I use them just to keep myself in order. I don't see a use for them though otherwise. Okay, so I am still working on Crocker's. So I'm going to click on the phone icon for Crocker. Okay, so I skipped over, you're going to notice right here, there's a number 1 that says alert. By using the template, you've skipped that step and it's filled in the stuff that I've already created for you. And we'll come back to that when I do it the second time. But now we're on the second choice of contacts. And there's only one thing to do here. We want to select the file containing your calling list. So I'm clicking on select. I'm going to go to my desktop. I'm going to find that file. I didn't rename it, but you'll see that in a minute. I'm going to keep going if Chris or Eileen can look at Gabby's question there. So I've added my file that I'm going to be uploading here. Like I said, I didn't rename it just for time. And this is a list of just the first 50 records that are in the file. I had to take off the column headings here for it to work. So just kind of ignore that there's a blank row here. But the only information in this file are the ID numbers, which are the LACIDs, and then the building name, which is the school. That's the exact same information that you retrieved from X2 for ConnectEd. Okay. We haven't explored the social media checkbox yet, but we find that it's going to be useful for emergency notification and maybe weather notifications, but you don't want to publish your attendance records to social media. And Eileen, we haven't talked about this one. I didn't check it off. I think this might be a good option again for those emergency and weather announcements, and maybe things that aren't sensitive, like a book fair or upcoming games or things like that. So on this screen here, the only thing we're doing is choosing our file. That's it. And then we're going to click next. This screen is just confirming the delivery date and time. So we're going to start by default the day when the call list file is uploaded. So it's going to start today. Okay, we could change that, but for attendance, we're not going to do that. You want it to go out as soon as you have it uploaded. And there are options here for dates and times and that sort of thing. We haven't changed anything here, and we were successful with our messaging. This is that alert code. It's just for organization, the name of your file or your alert, and then I didn't put any descriptions in. It's pretty evident that this is the attendance file. That's it on this screen. So quickly went through it. We'll go back and do it again. But does anyone have any just questions on those few things that I had to enter in? And I
Any
know you can't follow along, but you could see it on my screen. We're good so far? Okay.
You know, I have to go in with each one of them and enable the
Okay.
message builder. I'm about halfway through. So
Okay.
maybe in just a minute, they probably are all going to have to log back out and log back in again. But
Okay.
let me let you know when I'm finished with that.
Okay, and I'm gonna send this. So this is Crocker's actual attendance report. I'm going to send it, and then we can take a look at some of the resources that are available for the information that returns from this. So save and send. That's the important part here. Okay, so I have successfully sent this message to OneCall now. Now it's processing the information to send it out to our families. Okay, so I can look at more information here. If I scroll down a bit, I'll show you that in a minute. But if I were to scroll down, I could see some of the messages that were sent out from the district level, just us playing. Oh, that's a good question. I did not talk about that yet. OneCall covers, I think, over 200 languages. So many more than what we had in Blackboard. And those were all in the uploads that I did from X2 for all the students. Okay, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that later, but just so you know, I've been weekly updating the student information. So as of Friday, the information that you have in OneCall now was accurate to what was in X2 on Friday. And I'll continue to do that. Okay, so, but quite a few languages, more than we had access to in the other option. Okay, so if we're just looking here, the first thing that I want to point out is the SMS field. So that would be the text messaging field. Those are not going to go out yet. Allison, we're still talking about that. Most likely not. We're trying to get that automated from X2 and working with Nick. And so as of now, we're going to do the whole upload. I'm going to do the whole uploads until Nick is able to automate that from X2. After that, you hopefully won't have to do that. For individual things, I will show you in a bit how to go in and edit the individual information, like if the phone number is wrong or the email address has a typo or things like that. Okay, getting back to the text messaging. So for right now, we have not set up the text messaging in the way that the law requires us to. We're in the process of doing that, but this isn't it's an opt-in function. So the families actually have to opt in to receive text messages. It's not opt out. Excuse me. So we can't send out any text messages until they start opting in. Papers are going to go home in their backpacks, and information should be going out in the methods that your principals send out information to your families. Whatever that is, a weekly message, Facebook, however they send out their messages so that the families will know to look for that. We also have an option on here that will send out an informational message telling them that if they want to opt in and the steps that they need to do for that. Okay, so right now the text messages are not going, but they're still being kind of sent because I have it as one of the templates. Okay, so the emails are being sent, and this might take a bit. I have to refresh, so let me do that, and we'll see probably a change in yeah. So if you look down here, the email seems like the quickest ones to go. So for this message, it was sent out at 10:21. It's complete, the email portion. It came from me because I sent it from my account. It will be coming from your school accounts. 29 deliveries were scheduled to go. 0 of those remain. So it was successful in sending out 29 email messages. as you know, that doesn't mean that the families read them. It just means that they were delivered successfully. Okay. And then this says here that they were delivered and 0 were unreached by email. So every single person had an email sent to the email address that they have on file. Does anyone have any questions about the email reporting part? Okay. So the SMS part, we're going to skip over for now. So right now it's in progress of sending text to speech calls. And this one, we did find that it takes a little bit longer, but it ended up being not too bad. Oh, it's actually done. Eileen, that was much quicker than earlier. Yes, it does send out an email by default of the template that I created of email and text, eventually, and text to speech call. So it will get all 3 eventually. Right now, 2. But this is showing us that this went out at the same time. There were 29 deliveries. 0 of them remained. 29 of them were delivered and 0 were unreached. So they either reached a live person, it left a message on the answering machine. It's kind of the exact same options that we had previously. Okay, to show you what the email looks like and to see what the delivery results look like, the blue hyperlink for the date, if you click on that, it opens up another tab, and this is the tab that opens up. And it just gives us a little bit of a summary on the delivery. So it has the student's name, the destination for the calls, and eventually the text, what it was. And we have this set up, I don't know if some of you remember, but in Blackboard, we had some trouble with home phones and cell phones and text messaging. And this, even though it's going to list everything here as a home phone, it's set up for both. So if this was a cell phone, it's still going to go to the phone number. It's going to go to the numbers that it's able to go to. It's not going to try to text a home phone number. Okay. So it was delivered at 9 seconds. And confirmation of the delivery. And then, oh, here's something. Oh, so this one was reached by text. I'm wondering, my guess might be that they've already opted into it. So maybe messages have already gone out from Crocker. I'm not sure. But that's curious. I'd have to look at that. And then any errors would show at the bottom too. So you can see here, it reached machine, it reached person, however the information was delivered. Okay, and we would see that. Sorry. I have to go back to it opened a new tab for me. It's just taking a second. There it is. Okay, and we can see that information for any of them. So the email choice is listed here. I'm going to share this screen instead. Similar information. It shows you the name of the student, the email address, if it was sent or not. So it was reached, and they were all reached, and the time it took to send it, which was minimal, if anything. Does anyone have any question on just that really quick overview of how we were going to send a message? We're going to do it again. Eileen, do you need a few more minutes?
No, Dean, I think I've updated everyone for
Okay.
the.
So we should take this time now to probably log out of OneCall now and then sign back in. And then you can make sure that you have those options now.
Dina, as far as the subgroups that you've created for each of the schools, I believe it's by, like, say, grade 6, grade 7, grade 8. And then you have, let's say, if it's the high school, it would be
Oh, good.
grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, grade 12, and then Fitchburg High.
Correct.
So if they wanted to be able to do a select all just for every student, that
Yeah.
is actually a subgroup itself.
It is.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep. So we did get one confirmation that the option was there. So that's good. Okay. Does anyone need another minute to log back into OneCall now? I don't want to rush you. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start fresh on my screen, and then, excuse me, if you want to follow along, we'll just confirm that you have the correct information as we go through. Okay, so we're going to start on the send an alert box, and we're going to saved, and that's where the templates are, the saved alerts. Okay. I'll go through the steps this time, but I'm not gonna send it again, just so Crocker people don't get two of them. Okay. The pencil button is the one for editing. Red X is for deleting. It's the phone call one that you want to look at. So we're going to click on that. And then this is the place earlier where I told you that it skipped over the first step. So let me just show you what it looks like if it were to go to the first step. And it doesn't because of the default template. So by default, I've given everyone a name, CES attendance, GA attendance. I've selected every single one of these in the template just so that you don't have to go back in and change that. It's going to do speech to text. I think some of you probably remember for the voice, we would have to call an external number for Blackboard and record our voice. And it was a long process. So text to speech is fine. Okay. So this is the message that I've come up with, just taking some of your messages and combining them. So it's from Crocker Elementary School and the school phone number. Okay. Here's the email alert. And then here is the text alert that eventually will go out. Now, we used to have 140 characters available to us. Now we have 300, but there's a but with that. Alerts over, if you can see it down at the bottom, alerts over 160 characters are charged double per pay per call accounts. I don't think that part would bother us, but we're questioning the truncation of the, yes, I can do that. We're 3188. Oh, wait a minute. Where is the 3188 or the 3187? I see 329. Oh, sorry. I'll have to do it after. Yeah. Sorry. I lost my train of thought there for a minute. I will do that when we're done. No, it's fine. I wasn't paying attention. So you don't see, that message went by way too fast, so I didn't see it. So Melissa, are you on the alert tab, the number 1 option? Just confirm that, Melissa, in the chat. I'll keep going and we'll okay. Yeah, so the contacts number is where we were directed to initially because of the template. I just wanted you to see what we skipped over. And in here, you can make any changes that you like if you want. Okay, so now I'm back to that spot where we would have gone to if I hadn't backtracked. You're welcome. All right, so select the file containing your call list. I'm clicking on select. My open window pops up. I'm clicking on the file that I shared to my desktop and I'm clicking open and it's filling in the file name. And again, I didn't rename this. Okay. This is where you're going to see the contacts from the first 50 records. If you have more than 50, you won't see them. It's just a sample of that. Don't worry about the first blank line. That's where I had to remove the headings. Okay. These are the options that we have not checked off. So here it's just putting in the file name and then clicking next. And then on this tab, I didn't change any of the options either. But if you wanted to send, we're going to talk in a little bit about just outreach calls as opposed to attendance. But for attendance, you just probably want it to go out now when you're ready to. So I wouldn't change anything here. I'm not going to click send. I'm just going to click cancel, I think. Did everyone see all of the options that you were expecting to see? Or did anyone not see the options? Okay. How about questions on that process? We're good? Okay. I'm back on my saved alerts screen. I just wanted to show you, so at the bottom are the attendance records templates. At the top are the emergency notification templates that we send out in an emergency. So I actually use these as well for weather. The difference is these go out as priority, and you'll see that our attendance ones are informational. So informational does not try every single contact, and it goes out when it goes out. But it was okay. It was timely. Priority notifications go out immediately and to every single contact that the student has until someone's. So you don't, oh, okay. So maybe I didn't share these, Eileen, district-wide, which is okay.
Yeah, those are typically done by central office.
Yeah.
When hopefully not very often.
No, but just to show you the difference. So, you know, if we had to evacuate the school, I would go, or any of us would go right into number one, and this would send out as an emergency. Okay. The ones that you're seeing are just informational. So this would be where you might see things like book fair, reminders that report cards are going home, things like that. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my dashboard. So that's all the information that we need to do attendance. Do you think that you're comfortable with the attendance portion, that you'd be able to send these out either today or tomorrow? Great. Yep. Try it. You're not going to break anything. If there's an incident at the school, usually, I'm going to show you how to send out a non-saved alert. But usually if there's an incident at school that has been elevated to an emergency, it would be coming from this office. So the principal or whoever his their designee is would be in touch with Jeremy, and Jeremy would be corralling all of us here to be sending that messaging out. If it was just I don't want to diminish it, but maybe it was just that a vape was found at the high school and you want people to be aware of that. Something like that wouldn't go out in the emergency thing. That would go out as just a regular alert. Is that clear, Celia? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so I'm going to show you now how to send out just an informational alert. I would probably send this out as an informational one, and it's an excellent example of why we would do something like that. I wouldn't send it out as an emergency because I don't want the families to be desensitized to our messaging. If we're sending out too many emergency messages, it's like, oh, another message from the kid's school. So something like this, I would probably send out as just a regular alert. Okay. And to do that, it's that same box that we started in. Eileen, do you want to type in the chat about how we're the process for updating the contacts? Yeah. And how we're going to use the automated upload from X2 or for individual ones?
Yeah, so I think you had mentioned that we are working now on how we can actually go directly from X2 to do the uploads. So that'll be happening every night. Probably it's another one of those midnight runs, so that we should be up to date daily. It does take a little bit to set up. So as I'm very much aware of, the enrollment center has been quite busy. So we have that on the to-do list. And I think, did you mention, Dina, I was doing a couple other things that you're going to commit, well, we are committing to doing that weekly until we get that process done. So
yes,
you should be up to date with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we wanted to make this as almost hands off for you guys as far as any setup or updating, and so that we can automate as much as possible.
Yeah. I'm going to skip Gabby's just for a second because Mara, yours corresponds with that. I did upload staff. And I think that's going to be part of the process as well. And I can upload staff as well. For the uploads, the data did it come from the student front page or the first contact listed?
It's not the student front page. It would be the first contact.
Right. Because it was labeled as the primary contact. I think that was correct. I'd have to confirm that, but it's the contacts for that. Okay, so on the send an alert one, we've been doing the attendance calls through saved, but now we're going to create something new. Okay, so for the attendance calls, those are only going to go to the primary contact once. For anything that is an emergency type call, I've uploaded multiple columns of contacts and email addresses, just as I would have done in Blackboard previously. So it will go through all the contacts that I've entered in, all of the email addresses until it's reached someone. So there's not just one contact number per student. There's multiple fields for each of the different methods. Okay. I'll keep going. Eileen and Chris, if you see anything else about that part, just type in the chat for the answer, because I want to be respectful of time, and I think we're getting close. All right, so under send alert, we've been working in saved. Now we're going to go to new. So by sending a new alert, this is where you have to decide the type of alert that you're sending. Is it informational or is it priority? My sense is that most, if not all of your messages are going to be informational, because the priority ones will be coming from this office. And like I said, the only things I use that for are true emergencies in weather, just because I want to make sure that everyone gets the weather message. Not that it's an emergency, but I want it to go to all the contacts. Okay, so I'm going to move forward with this. I'm not going to eventually send it, but I'm going to keep it on informational for now. And this is where we're going to select our contacts. So the default of this contacts source of information is contacts. And if you hover over any of these green dots, I skipped over that here, but it gives you a little bit more information about how these are handled. So an informational one, standard messaging not related to an emergency will be delivered using our standard call delivery settings, such as school day delays due to weather, which I kind of don't do, but event reminders. That's a good example. Priority are going to be equipment failures, school lockdown, that type of thing. So in the contacts, that's what I'm going to talk about today. If you click next on contacts, or if you click next with contacts selected, I should have said, it brings you to that first screen of the alert attendance template that we just talked about. So this is where you now have to enter in the information. So what type of a message do you want to send out? Phone, email, text alert eventually. We haven't explored this, but if you wanted to poll whether families wanted to have open house on Monday or Tuesday, we could set that up here, but we'll skip that for now. So in the phone section, I'm just going to type, this is a text message. Oops. Okay, and that's the phone box. I want it also to be an email and a text alert. It will carry over whatever is typed into the first box to the email alert body and the text messaging body. Okay, so whatever I type here, oh, yikes. It only does it the one time. So you want to make sure that you get it in accurately the first time. What I typically do is I open up a Google Doc and I type my message in there, and then I just copy and paste it in. Okay, so now that I've made this change here, I would have to make it in the other boxes as well. The other important thing here is for the email alert, it's a required field to enter in a subject. You have to put something and make it descriptive, because that's how we get the attention of our users, and then they'll be more inclined to open it. We have the same issue here with the number of characters for text messaging. So try to stay under 160, which is better than the 140 that we had previously. Okay, so I'm just going to skip over all this and I'm going to go here. The next screen that pops up, this is where you're going to select your contacts. Now on the attendance piece, we had to upload the spreadsheet that had our contacts. Here, you have to decide which group you're sending this to. And if you scroll down, you can see, and you're not going to have access to all of these groups, but you should have access to your school group. For example, for Fitchburg High School, I have a contact that has everyone for Fitchburg High School, students and staff. I also have grade 9, 10, 11, 12. This is the extended program. Yes. Someone can.
Yeah, students beyond grade 12.
Right. Okay. I didn't know what SP stood for. I was having a mental block. And then just staff. Okay. So if you just wanted to remind seniors that they have to return all of their materials before caps and gowns are delivered, you can just select FPS 12. So you'll see that for every school. Overriding group of everyone, each grade level, and then staff. Does anyone not see that? Okay. And you should only just see your assignments. Good. Okay. So here I would pick who I want to send this to. Excuse me. I'm going to click central office just in case something goes out. It just goes to us. Like I said, we haven't explored the social media networks one yet, but we will. And I think it will be useful for really emergency type messaging. So we're going to skip here. And then we're kind of back at this page where we have to decide when this should go out. So if I found out today that school is going to be canceled tomorrow because of inclement weather, I could do this today and just say start it on the 18th and start it at, I don't know, what's our time, 5 a.m. So I could do that. Okay. But you probably want your messaging most of the time to go out during school hours. I can't remember what was there previously. But so if you don't change anything here, it's going to go out on the day that you type this during the hours that are set here. If this is something that you think that you'll use often, you can save this and use it later. Okay. And you can also set this as recurring. So if every Monday you want to remind your third graders that they need to bring their sneakers for gym, whatever it may be, you can click that. Okay, that's it. I'm not going to click send, obviously, because it will send. But that's the messaging. So once you get your messaging in, select your contact group, decide when you want it to go, and then click send. I think at your level, at your school levels, it will just show you what you've created. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm fairly certain that it will just show you yours. Does anyone have any other questions about sending an alert? It really is straightforward. You just have to do it. And just be mindful of the fields that are required. Anything else, if you don't know the answer to it and it's not required, we've left it blank. Okay, no additional questions on that page? Good, okay. I was gonna skip over and just talk to you a little bit about the emergencies, but we've already talked about that. So let me go back to the dashboard and I can show you where the contacts are. And I'm not positive if we all have the same options everywhere here, but this time you could go over here to contacts, but right here where it says add contacts, so that other block next to us, there is a spot that we can do manual import or manual input of contacts. And it's right here. So I'm seeing everyone, of course, but it's right here, add new contact. And you just have to fill in some of the information. So this is the phone page. So it's the student's name. Their ID, remember, is the LACID. That's super important because that's how this ties into whatever it's going to connect to from X2. Okay. You can type in numbers here. You can type in emails here. I haven't explored doing anything here, but these are some of the fields that we put in as a district. And oral communication is the one that's already pulling in the language. So I would say just the phones and the emails here. And then after you do that, you can save it. Or if you have an additional, you don't, okay. If you don't have an additional student to add, you could, if you do have an additional student to add, rather, you can go to save and add new. That will, okay. Eileen and Chris, are you seeing that? It's good to know. This is how we're going to find out what settings are available to you and what aren't. So
Can you say that again?
the contacts, Gabby and Deb and Jen do not see add contacts.
Right now I have them as edit phones and email addresses for contacts of assigned subgroups only.
Okay.
So we can go in to do add, edit, and remove contacts for entire group, but we pretty much locked this down before we started exploring some of these. So we can modify some of them, but I just have to, each one of these, we just want to make sure we have a full understanding of the impact. Or so we're pretty much locked down across the board as much as possible.
Yeah.
That was the same with that message builder. So, but you saw, I mean, it just takes a little bit to turn those things on again, or off again.
Yeah, and after the the automated exports are finalized through X2, I think maybe that would be a point where we would revisit unlocking that field. Okay. I'm gonna cancel out of here and then just go back to contacts. But this is also showing you, and you'll see your own schools, but this is showing you that students are tagged as a student and staff are tagged as staff. Okay.
Student info.
And they're all entered in as of Friday. Okay. Eileen, Chris, is there anything that I forgot to touch on in our last 5 minutes? I can hear them in the next office. I think they're collaborating on something. I'm just going to double check with them. If you have any questions right now, type them into the chat.
Wait, I just, but, if they, and I can say, yeah.
I told it if we have any other questions, type them in the chat right now.
Yep. So, and just to clarify, I always want to make a plug for this. If there is an issue with a contact that's in this particular application, then once we have it automated, what we need to make sure you're doing is not changing it here. You're changing it in X2, because if it's an error in here, it's going to be coming from X2, and that's where we need everything to be accurate and that we rectify to X2. We had some issues, I think, with the ConnectEd, where people were going into ConnectEd, putting some things in there, and then if it was uploaded again, what would happen is that it would overwrite what those changes or things that you had done. So X2 is where we live, and then we'll pull from X2 to populate this.
So as of now, we are adding in contacts through an upload from X2, and I did that on Friday, and my schedule right now is to do that on Fridays. And I will also update the staff as well. I did not do that this past Friday. It was just the students. Any other questions? Has anyone had a chance to try anything out yet, or look through it, or? Okay. Well, you're a quiet group today. I think you just probably are having a little brain overload. Please feel free to reach out to me. We did record this, and we'll share this when it's available. Eileen has shared video documents and another video recording. And as we're becoming more comfortable with this, we'll share what we learned with you. But for now, I think we're off to a good start for everyone to try their attendance reports either today or at the very least tomorrow, and see how those go. Great. It was nice seeing you all. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Thanks, Dina. Thanks, everyone. Dina Gagné has left the meeting.
She didn't.
So, oops.